Hey guys, welcome back to At the Bluff. This is Brett, and I wanted to bring another video to you guys. I know it's been a while with winter and everything. Things have kind of been slow, and this past half month, I guess, last 2 weeks, things have kind of started picking up. We've had our first few tournaments, soccer started, and things are starting to get pretty busy. So I just wanted to bring this video to you of me mowing. This is actually soccer field number 2. This season, this spring season, it is a full U13 field. So that just means that it's the largest field that kids can play on. I believe, to my knowledge, it's the same size field as professionals and adults play on. And so here you can see I'm on our John Deere 8800 terrain cut. It is a mower that has 5 different blades on 5 separate decks, and that's why they call it a terrain cut, is that each deck is on its own support system. So if you're mowing hills or some rough terrain, that it can dip down each deck, which is I want to say about a 2-foot deck, 2-foot blade. It can dip and maneuver with the terrain to get the most perfect cut you can do with this large of a mower. And so this is our field mower. So this is what we use on all of our baseball outfields and soccer fields. Anything else that we consider a common area that is a smaller area, we use our John Deere Z-Track 950. And then all of our larger areas, like our pasture ground, we use our Land Pride 16-foot Batwing behind our Kubota mower, or Kubota tractor. So I just wanted to break the drone out. It was a pretty decent day and show the mower in action. So typically we mow this pattern, which is this north-south long ways. This is the quickest way to mow. Different times we typically in the past have burnt a pattern in, which means just mowing the same direction for a few weeks and getting the light and dark stripes to really pop. And I am more of a believer of changing the pattern up every time you mow. Definitely in a homeowner lawn situation. So this year we're going to do, one time we mow, we'll do north-south. The next time we're going to do one corner to the other diagonal, and then the other diagonal, and then back straight again. That way, once the grass is growing pretty good, after a while, we'll actually have 3 different patterns in there that you can most likely visibly see, as long as the weather doesn't get in there and we're able to mow 3 times a week, which typically soccer's on usually a Wednesday Friday schedule. Soccer's kind of up in the air on when we mow it. Baseball outfields, we typically do a Tuesday Friday, and soccer is on a Monday, Thursday, and therefore Wednesday the mower is idle, and that is when we mow the fire stations. This gives a little bit extra time to do different things, and so the schedule always changes really because we're dealing with weather and different things with the fields. Sometimes something might come up and we'll be pulled to do something different. And that's just the way things go. So we're pretty versatile. As long as we get things cut twice a week in the growing season, we're pretty good. Other things that can come into contact or come into consideration, I guess you would say, is painting. So if we need to paint our fields, our biggest use for both sports is on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we'll typically paint on a Thursday. and you always want to cut before you paint, so you don't spend the time painting and then cut off 50% of the paint. So if that happens, we will mow everything before we paint on a Thursday, or if it has to be, we'll mow Wednesday and paint first thing Thursday. So that's pretty dependent on what the schedule is. We're really not the operation to where things happen on a designated day every single week. But you guys should know everything's kind of dependent on other things. Depends on who's out that day with sickness or has other prerequisites. So here you can see I'm painting. I'm using our Graco field laser. I believe it's a 1600 series. There's only a few they make, but it's a 3-wheeled painter that has a paint gun on the mounted arm to the right side. So it takes a 5-gallon paint bucket. You just throw the feed in there and prime the painter, and then you just start striping. You can adjust the gun for height and width. So if you're someone who likes having the arm a foot or two out from the painter, then you can adjust that. As long as the wheels aren't going through your paint, you're pretty good. That way your stride, you're not walking in paint and moving it everywhere. But they're about the best painters you can buy. There are other ones that are on mounted machines that you can ride on for those who have parks that are just multiple fields. So when I was in Columbia Parks and Rec, we had just a crazy amount of fields. We had 20-some soccer fields, 20 to 30 baseball, along with football and rugby fields. So our paint technician, he would have to use a rideable painter in order to get everything done. The name of the machine is failing. Oh, it's a chromer. So I couldn't think of it, and then it just hit me. That's how things usually go. So yeah, it was a chromer. And so they're used for multiple different things. But one of the biggest things is for painting. It has a front-mounted painter, and so your front wheel kind of goes through it, but it does a pretty good job. Back to the video here before I go on an even longer tangent. But I'm just going through and painting this field for our field rental this particular week. We always have soccer league on Saturdays, so we have a good 6 to 8 hours of soccer on our multiple fields. And this one was getting rented out for a separate occasion, and I decided to give it a fresher coat of paint just to help out with this weekend's traffic. And I got to mow it, so it was looking pretty nice, and I thought it could use a fresh coat of paint. As you can see, the paint lines that were there were not that bad, but once I go over them, you can tell the difference. So just thought I'd go over it. Typically, so like this field, it took it took 5 gallons of paint, an entire bucket, to paint this one field. Typically we have, as I said earlier, we have 6 large fields, and each of those fields is broken down into smaller fields, except for this one. So this one is one large field. Painting wise, it usually takes, for our current setup, probably 4 hours if you're really hustling. If the lines have gone too long before painting, it could take about 5 hours. It's really just, you want to do it right. That paint is going to be there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks in the growing season. So you want to do a good job. And my drone is doing right now, the battery was going low on it, and I decided to fly back. So not a very good shot of what I'm doing, but you just gotta work with it. I guess I'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you for watching again at the Bluff. We appreciate it. Come back and we will see what all else we can get into. Things are really picking up right now, so hopefully we'll have some really cool shots and videos coming your way. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, anything you want to do. We appreciate you visiting. Thanks again for watching at the Bluff.